Okay, what I want to do now is I want to replace the center grate. You can see it's much the worse for wear. Now, in order to get to the center grate, the piece just fell out. How nice is that? How cool is that? All right, I can live with that. I've been trying to get this thing out of there for a long time. Now all of a sudden just decides it's going to fall out on its own. Amazing. All right, good. Now in order to get the new one in, the floor of this has to come out. Oh my God, regretfully. Anyway, the only way you can get it out is by, you have to remove this back panel, this back plate, and the side plate. Because this bottom, this floor, is captured by those two pieces. So, yeah, it's, you can see where it moves. You can see where it moves there. So, my challenge now is to get these plates off. Now, I think I'll start with the one on the right. And regretfully, for some reason, they decided to use Phillips screws on there. Now, why they did that, I don't know. The back plate is held in by their metric. Okay, when I get to that, I'll get to that. So I have to try to get in there and get that back plate off. So I'm going to have to, the first thing I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to clean up those slots. I would think. You know, actually, I think it's turning. I don't believe it. You're kidding. Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. Oh my God. Oh, never expected that. That is good. That is so cool. Phillips screw there. Boy, I didn't expect that to happen. I thought I was going to fight with. I thought I was going to be fighting with that thing for the month of Sundays. Now, I have to try to do the other one. Oh yeah, son of a gun. She comes right out. And I did not use any oil on them either. Well, that's pretty cool. If they work that good, I'll use those same screws over again. I don't care. Okay, now this plate comes out. It's in good shape too. No cracks, nothing. It's great. Now I got to get that back plate out. Now, like I said, I was messing with this thing yesterday a little bit after I turned my camera off, and I determined that those hex heads are metric. Okay, I'm back. I should have tried this wrench first to see if it would fit. I didn't. This is 10 millimeter. Yeah, you know what? Those bolts are actually loose. Believe it or not. Oh my God. I had visions of grandeur about this job. I thought I was going to be here for a million years doing this, but I thought the screws are going to break off, and oh my gosh, Hey, oh my God, they just come right out. That's incredible. Huh. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy. Whoa! I didn't want that to happen. No, nothing broke, fortunately. Okay. I'll get that back panel out of there. I think the best way to do it is now, got to try to get that floor out of there. I'm going to do a little bit more vacuuming here. She just raises that out there. Okay. You know, actually, I don't even have to take this all the way out. I can just take the new one and just set it right in there. So what I'm going to do is there's an awful lot of ashes underneath. Now, somebody actually said it might be a good idea to leave that bed of ashes in there for protection. But it's kind of nuts. I don't know, it's an awful lot of ashes in there. I'm just going to go and suck those out. Alright, I decided to take the bottom all the way out after all because it was just too much monkeying around, you know, jockeying it around to try to get all those ashes out of there. These other people that I mentioned said about taking all the ashes out. They might take issue at that. I don't know, but I figured, you know, when the stove was new, it didn't come with ashes in it. When I rebuilt it some years ago, I didn't have ashes in it, and the ashes will come back in again anyway. So, hey, what the heck, you know. Right now, here's my new part. No, let me get this camera set up differently here. I knew I'd go the wrong way. Now, like explained in the other videos, I took the two parts, the baffle and this thing, and put them in an oven and seasoned them. I started at 325 degrees, left it that way for half an hour. And by the way, put them in the oven right away from a cold start. Okay. And I brought the oven to 325 degrees, let it sit there for half an hour, then brought it to 350, let it sit there for another half an hour, 375, another half an hour, and so on up to 500 degrees. Let it sit there for another half an hour, and then turn off the oven, and just let it sit there and cool down with the door closed. And I hope I did it right. I guess time will tell. I don't know. I don't know. That's how I did it. Somebody else might have a problem with it, but that's how I did it. Let's see, where am I here? I think I'll go back. Okay, now I gotta get that floor back in again. That's a heavy chunk of metal. Well, first, before I put the floor in, of course, I have to put the grate in. Now, a grate goes in with the teeth, these teeth forward, towards the front. All right? Yeah. Yeah. Teeth towards the front. Know exactly why that is, I don't know. I'm not going to pretend like I do either. Ow, boy, that bulb is hot. Jeez. I got a bulb here for the camera. You know, the inside of your arm, you know, it's really tender. Touched it. Doesn't feel good. Okay, that should do it. Let's see, these things work okay. All right, now we'll get that floor back in again. Big chunk of cast iron. I bet it weighs 30 pounds. There's a actually, I think what I have to do is I have to bring this rocker up like this, maybe. I don't know. Or we're going to put the back in first and let the front drop down. We'll find out. Yeah. Okay, my camera battery died. I didn't know it. You notice that the floor is in place here. Camera battery died before I had a chance to explain that in front of this, on the floor of the thing, there's a lip in here along this front edge. You can see that right along this front edge here. And that kind of goes into a groove in the front of the stove. And then you, hopefully, let the thing drop back down again. I should have left it where it was. I would be better off. No, maybe that is in. Yeah, it is in. That actually is in. Okay. All right, now the back plate. Everything about the stove is heavy. On that bulb. Let's get this up one started first here. Why me? Oh, jeez. Okay. A lot of people ask me why I go through the trouble of burning wood. Well, I got 5 acres here, and it's got a lot of trees on it, mostly oak. And trees die, limbs fall down, all that stuff. You know, what are you supposed to do with it? Put it out with the Monday trash? So I might as well use it for heat. Got a log splitter, a couple of 3 chainsaws, you know, and you don't want to over tighten these either. In fact, I'm even going to back them off a little bit. I'm going to actually leave a little bit loose, you know, to allow for expansion. I think that's a good idea. Now the back plate. We're almost done. Almost done. mention to you too that the screwdriver I'm using here, if you can see it okay, yeah, that's a big one. It's I'm not sure what size. I'm not really sure what size. It's an old Craftsman, but anyway, I wanted to use a screwdriver like that because the slots of these screws are pretty big, and it turns out that it fits it pretty good. I think it's probably because I had that screwdriver as well as I look at the screws out the way I did. Thank you. This is amazing. It started. Of course, as soon as I turn the camera off, I find it, you know. My furnace turned on again. Oh no! We had a warm spell. It got up to like 45 degrees. And I thought maybe it might be a good idea. It might be a good time to shut the stove down because the weather's warm. Well, now it's about 25 outside. Cold front came through here yesterday. And getting ready for Christmas, getting the Christmas tree up. I had some friends come over. And otherwise, I would have had this thing going before the... Okay, I guess that's it then. All together. That's what it looks like. Well, it's great to have that. Great to have that grate in there, because the way that thing was blowing up to almost about this high, you know, and that's just like having another chunk of wood in there. It's always in the way. And then the baffle, and that was hanging down, you know. So between the two of them, if I wanted to get any kind of a decent sized piece of wood in there, I had a heck of a time. And you remember my other video with the baffle, I mentioned the fact that the screws were bent, and I think I know why. It's because when I was pushing firewood in there, I probably kind of forced it in, and it's probably hit those screws and bent them. You know, especially when they're hot, they're probably pretty soft, so they bend pretty easy. Okay, that's it for that video for right now. So the next, I might do one more video now when I get this thing, when I light the fire. Okay, see ya. Okay, another issue I noticed on this stove was these windows. You'll notice that the bottom, the metal frame is bent out, and it's pulling away from the glass on the bottom. Now this side was doing the same thing, and I already took it out. And the thing I find a little bit mysterious about it is the fact that this top bolt was completely missing. Right here. These two bolts are okay. Now, the gasketing around here seems to be okay, and I straightened this out. This was pretty badly bent, and Well, I straightened it out, and then you notice that there's a gasket that goes all the way around this what they call ice glass. And it's in good shape. So I just put it back together again carefully. And I'm going to reassemble it. Then I'm going to do the same thing to the other side, fix it all up. And I got to find a new screw for that one that's missing here. Okay, now I took the other side out. Now you can see how that's warped out. That's really weird. It's amazing what heat can do to metal. So, actually, what you should have to do is just very carefully take the glass out. That gasket actually is kind of, it's formed around the edge of the glass. As a matter of fact, you can see it here kind of. So I'm going to be very careful with this. I'll just kind of straighten this guy out. Well, that was easy. And I'll put it back together again. Yeah. Actually, I think this stove is probably gonna be due for a major redo, because I don't know. It's been running an awful long time since I did the last one. I think it's developing some air leaks, because I can close all the dampers and everything, and I mean, it's not like the fire burns down in a hurry, it's nothing like that, but I think it burns down a little bit faster than I want it to. Okay, I'm going to put this thing back together again. I'll be right back. Okay, got it all straightened out. Got the gasket out, got everything back in again. The screw that was missing, it's metric, 10 millimeter, but the threads are standard. Okay, so I ended up using a 3/8 long, a 1/4 inch by 3/8 20 thread count bolt. It's actually stainless steel, believe it or not, but that's actually that length. That's all I've had, so that's okay. So I'll just tighten it up. Standard thread. I mean standard head. So see, this is metric, and that should take care of that part of it. Okay. Alright, like I say, when I start a fire going in here, I'll make another video.